Natural patterns formed through survival and the preservation of species. We inherit half of our DNA from each parent. That is why facial features, body type, and even habits often resemble those of our parents. But nature rarely meets the expectation that traits appear in equal halves. Inheritance is not a simple mixture. It follows rules that determine which traits appear and which remain hidden. When these rules repeat, patterns emerge. Even before DNA was discovered, one person held on to the pattern to the very end. That person was Gregor Mendel, known as the father of genetics. A Catholic priest, he crossbred pea plants in a monastery garden and did not overlook the repeating ratios he observed. The first pattern that stood out was this. When a pure round pea is crossed with a pure wrinkled pea, one might expect a mixed form. But in the first hybrid generation, only the round shape appears. Wrinkled traits do not disappear. They remain hidden as recessive traits and can reappear in the next generation. This is why the trait that appears in the first hybrid generation is called dominant, and the hidden trait is called recessive. In peas, round shape and yellow color are dominant, while wrinkled shape and green color are recessive. However, the word law here requires caution. Nature does not fit neatly into a single sentence. As with the 4 o'clock flower, crossing red and white flowers can produce pink through incomplete dominance. Some cases, like blood type AB, resist explanation by simple dominance alone. For this reason, dominance is closer to a principle than a fixed law. It applies broadly, but it does not always settle into a single outcome. Then, do hidden recessive traits disappear over time? Here, Mendel takes the inquiry one step further. When first-generation hybrids are crossed again to produce a second generation, the dominant and recessive traits reappear in a 3-to-1 ratio. Nothing was truly hidden or lost. It was simply separated, so it could reappear in a form the next generation could recognize. Finally, Mendel examined 2 different traits together and revealed a clearer pattern. When shape, round or wrinkled, and color, yellow or green, are crossed together, the second generation does not show only round and yellow traits. Round and green traits appear, as do wrinkled and yellow traits. What matters is this. The 2 traits do not pull each other along. They separate and combine in their own ways. As this independence accumulates, it creates diversity that favors survival. Rather than copying a single scene, nature may have chosen to expand combinations to prepare for what comes next. Mendel's principles of heredity are highly valued because they express the processes of survival and reproduction in the language of ratios. However, because his data appeared almost too precise, debate has continued over his methods of recording and sample handling. This point instead invites a reconsideration of how patterns are approached. Patterns are beautiful, but the eye that reads them must always be trained with care. Patterns are not limited to genes. Animals also have behavioral patterns for survival and reproduction. Birds migrate in response to breeding seasons, food availability, and changes in temperature, finding their way by following the rhythm of the seasons. In places where winters are long and harsh, food becomes scarce, so birds such as geese and ducks move south to warmer regions and return again in spring, repeating this cycle. But recent observations show that this rhythm of repetition is beginning to waver. Reindeer in northern regions now give birth earlier than before, and golden eagles have shifted their migration by nearly 2 weeks over the past 25 years. As temperatures rise, reindeer and moose travel more, while wolves and bears tend to move less. The same warming does not send the same signal to every species. When long-standing rules begin to loosen, do patterns remain the same? or do they reorganize into new forms? In the end, patterns in nature have two faces, one of preservation and one of transformation. What we need to read may be the small changes that happen right at the boundary.